Hey, gang, and welcome back to another community chat. Seems to be the most popular videos of the grumpy old gentleman, um, and one that I've always enjoyed. I've always enjoyed these. They started out as weekly chats, then they became whenever we fucking thought of some chats, and now they're just random community chats, which is the best way to do it. I feel obligated to do all of them, and I try to. If I've missed any, I apologize ahead of time or for ones I've missed. But let's get into it. This community chat is what influenced you into your film addiction, love, collecting, all of that stuff watching. Pick one. I don't give a shit. To be completely honest, I don't think there was a big influence in my watching. For one thing, we didn't have cable growing up, so I never got to indulge in Cecil, Siskel, and Ebert. I have very much used the internet and YouTube to go back and watch stuff and wish I was watching this, but then again, maybe my path was carved because it's the way my path was carved. Who knows? I like what I like. And from what I've seen and heard, slashers and a lot of probably a lot of horror that I like, they wouldn't have liked. Um, I never have seen any of their things on silent films or foreign films, and I really enjoy foreign horror films, and I don't know what they would have thought. But anyway, I didn't have that. I didn't have magazines to look at with this stuff in it, books. I would occasionally get a hold of a Stephen King novel or a novel based on a book. That was one of the dumbest things I've ever fucking said. A novel based on the movie or the novel that the movie was based on. Whichever way that sounds the best there, because I'm a real fucking moron sometimes. Um, my parents were not an influence. My mother did not watch very many movies. I remember her, we had a satellite dish and it would get like 3 channels, and she would watch soap operas all fucking day and um, old reruns of I Love Lucy. I remember a lot of I Love Lucy in my childhood, which I still think is very funny. It was a very funny show, but not one that I absolutely adored. Her favorite movie, from what I remember movie wise, was Coal Miner's Daughter, which I absolutely love. I think initially it might have been because of her watching it so many times, but it's also my love of Sissy Spacek, which may have started there. I'm not sure. I really can't back it up and see. Was it Was it that or Carrie? I really don't know, but I'm sure I seen Coal Miner's Daughter first. My father, who absolutely had nothing in common with except for my hothead temper, which his was a lot more explosive in a time where you could whip your kid's ass and nobody fucking said anything to you. So that has been a change generationally. Generation, is that a word? It is now. It's been said. Um, so I really didn't have anything in common with him. He was a redneck. He hunted and fished, and if you do that, more power to you. I don't give a fuck, but it's not my thing, and I didn't fit in my surroundings where I grew up. I grew up basically in the country. We raised tobacco, and I put in hay every summer, and I hated life. And as soon as I could get out, I fucking got out. I'm a city guy. I live in a small city, but I'm fine with city life. I need to be able to go conveniently to anywhere I want to go to get what I want to get, not 45 minutes to, get gas or some stupid shit. But yeah, influence is there. My father's favorite movie was Jeremiah Johnson, and the only reason I remember that is how many references he made to it by naming my younger brother, my only brother, to naming him Jeremiah because of this movie, which that's a me and him's another story that I'm not going to get into. But the movie Jeremiah Johnson is really high up there on my list, and not because of that, just because later in life it's a good movie. So I can't say that they were influenced at all. Oh, the Waltons. We watched a lot of Waltons. My mom is a Waltons fanatic. I literally have watched that show so much I don't care for it. My biggest influence, I have to say, was word of mouth, the cinema, which isn't really a inspiration, I guess it could be. Video stores played a big role in my inspiration to collect and my love of it. Just walking in and looking at the walls for what seemed like hours, but wasn't, because I was being rushed most of the time. So I knew to automatically go to the horror section, glance at the new releases. But back then it was more about stuff I've never seen before. Even though a new release, I may have not seen it, it was go straight to, I've never seen this, I've never seen this. And a lot of times it turned out to be trash, but it was trash that I got to see and trash that I didn't know was going to be trash. And therefore influenced my taste in film towards horror, which sounds absolutely ridiculous with some of the shit I watched. But at the same time, the shit got better, and I seen better, and I watched better, and I bought better, and then pretty soon, the collecting bug hit me. I didn't really collect VHS that much, and we've done videos on collecting. I had a friend named Seth that I worked with, and I had started buying DVDs and stuff here and there, but I remember really ramping it up in about 2000. I'm going to say 3 or 4. Just really ramping it up. Because about 2000, I started buying more and more. And about that time, I really, really ramped it up into this. Buy, watch, buy, watch, buy, watch. Even if you've never seen it, buy, watch, buy, watch. Never was a renter really after video stores kind of got really far and few between. The mom and pop shops were the best, but they, because usually you had to hook up. Oh man, can you hold this for me? Yeah, I'll hold it for you. Come in here every week. Yeah, and the big corporate ones, a lot of them had multiple titles. But yeah, so I have to say my greatest influence was simply video stores and word of mouth. Because even when I was a young adult and also a teenager, oh God, sorry, in high school, there was still what would be considered a community today of movie watchers, and there were video game players, and just there was still I guess connoisseur is not a great word for it, but people that really knew their shit about movies, and really, really, which I would have really enjoyed hanging with Jay back in the day, man. We would have watched every fucking thing. I don't have the love of music that he has, but as far as going to the cinema and watching shit over and over and over again, I was doing it already, so it would have worked. So yeah, plain old video store and word of mouth. I didn't have the luxury to have Siskel and Ebert, but I do now. So that's it. That was my influence on what I do today. That and the fact that I'm batshit crazy and compulsive. You know, little ADHD, little compulsive, little. Well, I'm just check out my medicine cabinet. It speaks.